Hey, what's good YouTube? It is your boy Fourth and Goal. We are back again with another video. And we gotta talk about these three teams, and I'm buying their stock. I am falling into the hype, and they're not really being talked about too much. It could be because it's been first 2 weeks, and maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but man, I am seeing a lot of green flags, and we gotta talk about it today. So let's get straight into the video. Alright, but first things first, just want to say shout out to everybody, man. We hit 100 subs, man. I want to say I love each and every one of y'all. We hit the subscribe button, the engagement, the comments, the criticism, everything, man. I love all of it, man. Thank you guys so much. This is just the beginning. I'm still going to post more videos. You know, we're going to go crazy during the season. So shout out to everybody. Alright, so now we got to talk about the three teams that I'm buying stock in. You know, I'm sort of falling for the hype, and really two of these teams, they have like dark horse potential to make the playoffs and potentially make some noise. And this third team, I'm sort of buying the stock from the standpoint of like from a team building standpoint. So the two teams that can make the playoffs and make some noise are the LA Rams and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, both in a loaded NFC. But both of these teams are showing some green flags. Yes, the season just started, and it could just be get up to a hot start, and it could cool down. From the Rams standpoint, they can really cool down. But the Buccaneers, man, they're looking pretty good, and Baker Mayfield, he's playing pretty solid, man. He's not playing like the old Baker Mayfield. This could be a new Mayfield era. Who knows, man? But today or yesterday, the Buccaneers, they won 27-17. They just shut down Justin Fields and the Bears' run game. So their run defense is very real. Last week versus the Vikings barely ran the ball, and when they did, yeah, they shut everything down. Like, you're not running up the middle on Vita Vea, and you're not going to go to the edge on Shaq Barnett and Tristan. I don't know how to say his last name, sorry. But, yeah, their run defense is very serious. And, again, last week, Antoine Winfield, he showed a lot of, like, good coverage stuff, and he had a couple of blitz packages to him. And of course, Jamel Dean and Carlton Davis, a very underrated corner duo. And again, their defense has been together for the last couple seasons, and so continuity and chemistry defensively is a big thing, but offensively, again, continuity and chemistry, things like that is very important. And the big question mark was the quarterback play, and Baker Mayfield, he's not playing terrible. He's playing very good and decent level. They're winning games 2-0, so I'm buying on their stock. I think they're going to build on this momentum. Hopefully, we shut that down on Monday night, and then they can go back to build momentum. But I'm not going to be surprised if they beat us, especially with our offense looking very stale and things like that. So the Buccaneers, again, I'm sort of falling into the hype, man. I can't lie. They're 2-0. I can't wait. And let me say this. I think all of those Mike Evans trade rumors, I think they are very real, but I think at the same time they can be shut down because first off, they're winning and dude's getting the ball. He has 6 catches, 171 yards, and 1 touchdown. So bro's balling out like he's back in his, 2018 days or whatever. Bro, he's still elite, going for another 1,000 yard season. But again, I'm falling in the hype. That defense is still very lethal. So again, let's find out on Monday when we go to Tampa, and let's see what they're really about. Okay, so the next team we got to talk about that I'm buying the stock, or I'm falling to the hype, and that is the LA Rams, like I mentioned before. The LA Rams, man, Matthew Stafford, like he's playing back. He's in Detroit. No really good weapons, but he's making them look good. But this time, they actually look good in Tutu Atwell and Puka Nuka. Did you see his name, Puka Nuka? But man, they look very good. And the crazy part is the Rams don't have their best target, their best offensive player in Cooper Kupp, and they're still looking very good. Now versus the Niners, Matthew Stafford had 2 interceptions. Now one of them, it was not his fault. I think Williams, he just dropped the ball, and Isaiah Oliver was just standing right behind him, and he just took it and he picked it off basically. So I don't really blame that on him, but I do blame him for the second one. But he threw the ball like 50 times. I mean, threw the ball 50 times, and I mean, at some point, sometimes, errors happen, so I can't really blame him. He threw the ball 55 times, and he completed 34 passes, but at the same time, it did come at a crucial point, so, I can't really say that that's excusable. But now offensively, their offense is looking very explosive and looking very very well put together. They don't have their best weapon in Cooper Kupp. So again, I can't wait until they get Cooper Kupp back. Potentially, Tutu Atwell and Puka production could drop, but at the same time, it may rise because teams could focus in on just Cooper Kupp and then not as much as them two. But who knows? We got to find out and wait and see until they get Cooper Kupp back. I'm hoping that he plays well because I have him on my fantasy team and I don't want him to suck, even though I have Tutu Atwell. But either way, either or, I do think Matthew Stafford, without the expectations, because this is their first year with having their first round pick. So a lot of people thought that they were going to suck or possibly tank. But at the same time, I mean, you got Matthew Stafford, a really good quarterback, Aaron Donald, one of the best defensive linemen, and you got some young pieces that are, that really did show some glimpse of good player like Tennessee's last year. The Ernest Jones, you got Kobe Durant, you got a couple other guys out there, and I'm sort of falling for the hype a little bit. I think once the defense still gets some more reps under their belt and things like that, they can improve. Because last week they played the Seahawks and they looked phenomenal. Like they looked phenomenal last week. But this week, they didn't look too good. But at the same time, you play the best offense or the second best offense or top 5 offense in the Niners. So I can't give them too much harsh comments and stuff. Now again, both these teams, they can't just flop during the season, or they could really be dark horses and really be really good teams and competitive teams. I really don't know because the season just started. It's only been 2 games. I'm just saying, as of right now, I'm buying their stock, and I just want to let you guys know what I'm seeing. Maybe you guys see something differently, and who knows? But finally, going to the third team, we gotta talk about the Arizona Cardinals, and they was up 20-0 today versus the New York Giants, a team that that won about, I think, 12 games last season, and they made the divisional round, beating the Vikings in the wild card. But then something just happened, and the Giants just came back and they won like 31-28. So now they're 0-2, and I'm just saying, like, what's the point of buying their stock? Like, they're not gonna make the playoffs. They blew a 20-0 lead. Don't have their quarterback in Kyler Murray. There's a lot of commitment issues, and their team is just discombobulated. Like, what are you talking about? And that's the point. Their team is discombobulated. They're 0-2. And you know who else is 0-2? The Houston Texans. And you want to know something? They own the Texans 2024 first round pick. And, it's potentially, I'm not saying that they are, but possibly that they're tanking and they want to get somebody named of Caleb Williams, or if he keeps rising, and Deion Sanders' son, what's his name? Sanders or whatever. I'm just saying, it's just a potential. So I'm buying their stock from the standpoint of a long-term hold, like that Roth IRA, just holding it long-term, and it could blossom into X, Y, and Z, and it's a lottery ticket. I think, that's my standpoint. Because if the Texans suck, because the Texans, they kind of got to be good. Because if they're not good, again, they don't have the first round pick, so you're giving another team a top 5 pick, and I think they knew that going into that trade, because they got Will Anderson for that Cardinals pick. And so I think for me, for the Cardinals, if you can trade Kyler Murray next season or whatever, cool, and you end up getting Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison in the first round, or Caleb Williams and that lineman from Penn State, hey, that's even better because you got somebody to go alongside Paris Johnson. I don't know. I'm just saying, I'm just buying this stock because I'll take that chance on what they're doing for the team building. I think, them drafting the old lineman last season or this past draft was really, 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 really smart. Really, really good. Build a long-term future for the O-line. But that'll pretty much do it for this video. Sadly, I did not watch any football during Sunday. I had to work all day, so I had to punch in the clock and not watch any football. I worked from like 12 to 9, so I missed every single game pretty much. So sucks to be, but I did watch some highlights. I did watch 2 condensed games. So if you want to count that, count it. If you're not, okay, I really don't care. But besides that, man, it's your boy 4th and Goal, and I am out, man. Peace.